It is the 21st day of September, right, Squeeze?
Yes, it is. All day.
A little earth, wind, and fire. Do you remember being cruising with the case handler? Good morning, everybody. This is Adam Handler. I am your case handler. I am an attorney, believe it or not, but also singing Earth, Wind, and Fire for the 21st day of September. The sun is shining, the weather is sweet, and we are here to move your dancing feet. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We really appreciate it. There's other places you can be, but you're here with us right now, which means the world to us. And hopefully you'll get some really good information. Hopefully you'll feel better about your possibilities of changing your life after this show than feeling right now, because we are a full service law firm. I personally handle the personal injury cases. I'm the partner of the firm handling that part of the practice. But my partners are amazing immigration attorneys. And we are giving out 100% free phone consultations, letting you know how you can change your life, your family's life for generations to come by legalizing your status here in the United States. Of course, I help you get that big money when, God forbid, disaster strikes and you're in that accident, the car accident, the construction accident, the workplace accident. If you get hurt through the fault of somebody else, no matter who you are, what you're doing here, and what your legal status is, I think you need to give us a call. You need to have that number saved and give us a call. Either way, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844-PPID law. 844-PPID law. PPID is the name of our law firm, Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico. Squeeze, I know, well, I was pretty sure of it on Friday, but let's just confirm. You still down with PPID?
Hey, Adam, you know me. Of course I am. It's good to be down with PPID, man. I'm trying to get some light up in here, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, want to say thank you so much for tuning in. This is obviously Cruising with the Case Handler. And of course, we're here right here on 93.5 WVIP FM, making sure that all is well. I see we got some great people on the panel today. How you doing, Nelson?
Doing good. How are you?
I am wonderful, man. How was your weekend?
Good, quick. I think the winter might be here.
I'm shooting the breeze here with you, man. What did you do for the weekend?
What did I do on the weekend? Oh, I actually did some home construction work.
Home? It looked like Adam. It looked like we're gonna have to, go over by this guy's house. Yeah,
it sounds like it. Listen, lawyer by weekday and contractor by weekend. What can't the Maverick do?
Yeah.
What can't the Maverick do?
That is me. That is I.
Anyway, well, it's good. All right. Thank you so much. I know where to find a contractor when I need one. And I do have some work that I need to do on the house, man. And it tends to be a little bit expensive with these contractors. So remind me to hit you up. All right, Nelson?
The problem I have is, apparently I don't move quick enough for my wife. Right. My wife wants it all done in one day. And sometimes the compound takes a little longer to dry, especially in the cold weather. So it's things she doesn't understand, but I do my best.
There you go. Yeah, and that's all you can do for the wives, man. All right. Your best. All right. Because remember, women are the most powerful species on this planet. Don't you ever forget it. Right, Alexandra?
If you say so.
By the way, I love your hair. All right. It's stunning. I was just looking at that. I've never seen you with your hair like that.
I wasn't planning on being on the radio, but I am a last minute substitute for the maestro. I have big shoes to fill.
Okay. All right. And if anyone wants to see what the panel looks like, hey, listen, just go on Facebook right now. My page is David Squeezaniki. I'm the broadcaster here. And I've got the folks that you just heard from. You heard from Adam Handler. Okay. He's the case handler. He runs the personal injury department at the firm, Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico. You just heard from Nelson Madrid, one of the top immigration attorneys at the firm, Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico. And Alexandra Bondikov, the boss lady. She's also one of the top attorneys at the firm. We want to welcome the entire panel. We will be speaking on personal injury and, yes, immigration. So let's jump right into it. Aren't you a little bit hot there, Nelson, that jacket, man?
No, I just told you. I thought the winter was here.
Yeah, I guess we all thought that, Adam, how was your weekend otherwise?
It was great, man. We celebrated in my family. It was the the holiday of Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. And it's a time for personal reflection, a time to give thanks for the blessings of year past and to pray and hope to be inscribed in the book of life for the year to come. So a solemn weekend, but a great weekend because I spent it with family and friends, and I'm feeling good. We recorded a commercial over the weekend. I sent that to you, Squeeze. Which was that took me about 30 takes, and take 29, which was going amazing. I was like 90% through it, and all of a sudden somebody rang my doorbell, and all of a sudden you're,
don't you hate that? Don't you hate that whenever you're recording and then you get a call or someone rings the doorbell?
Yep.
You know.
Well, Squeeze, listen, you asked for more top of the hour spots, and I got to deliver. So you know, I was standing doing my thing, spitting it like probably Jay-Z in the booth would do it. I was really feeling that flow, getting the words out, and then all of a sudden, ding dong.
You actually, Adam, you missed it. The other day, Squeeze was on a roll. Squeeze was rapping.
Oh yeah.
He started the show rapping.
Oh man, believe me, I really gave it to everybody, man. You know, great show we had the other day. All right, trying to get that piece of art out of this picture here. All right, so listen, I want to demonstrate to everybody what it is that we do here. So 93.5 FM listeners, turn up your radio, please. And of course, people on Facebook, go to Adam's page. This guy's a stickler. If you don't like his page, you're not subscribed. He takes it very personally. Also, follow him on Instagram. You know, you've got to do that. Look, he's turning red. All right. He takes it very personal. If you don't follow his Instagram page, the Case Handler, or you don't follow him on Facebook. So please, don't worry about my page. If there's one page you got to follow, it's Adam Handler, the personal injury attorney, the Case Handler attorney. Just follow his page. Please already, all right? Now, just to demonstrate what we do here, I'm going to start off with immigration. So I'm going to jump it off with a question. I want to see if Nelson or Alexandra can be stumped. Here's an immigration question before we get to a true success story in a few minutes. Immigration question. I have the temporary green card, and in a few months, I will apply for the permanent, period. But during this period, I will sign my divorce with a child born out of the marriage that did not work. Can someone tell me if I will need a sponsor again?
So she has what's called a conditional green card. She has a conditional green card because at the time her then spouse filed for her, they had been married for less than 2 years. Mm-hmm. And now I imagine she filed application to remove the conditions and become a permanent resident. Now it's very important, I need more facts here, right? Because if she filed that jointly with her husband, then her husband is still part of the case. Then you just can't show up and say, okay, well, we're going through a divorce. I don't know how that application was completed. I don't know what was selected. Even if she's not with her husband, she can go forward if she could demonstrate that the marriage. She can't. I'm sorry?
She can or she can't?
She can.
Okay, she can. Okay.
She can. But she would have to demonstrate that obviously the marriage to her husband was a real marriage, and obviously for whatever reason the marriage fell apart. But again, I don't know how that application was completed, and that's, in my opinion, a very important component here, because if they filed joint, right? If it was filed like they're still together, they're gonna expect the husband to show up to the interview. You can't just show up to the interview without your husband and say, you're going through a divorce. So, in situations like that, something we typically do is we reach out to immigration and let them know she'll be proceeding under an exemption. And, if need be, we provide proof of the bona fides of the marriage. So again, I need more facts to better answer the question. This is just general information.
Got you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cruising with the Case Handler, a show on personal injury and immigration. That is Nelson Madrid demonstrating his skill sets when it comes to immigration. 13 years solid, and he's kicking asphalt. All right. Once again, if you would like to also, of course, get your immigration questions answered for free, that's the consultation, the phone consultation. After that, you need to hire them. Call now for the free phone consultation at 844-774-3529. Listen up. Nothing lasts forever. Here's an opportunity to speak with an attorney for free on the phone. Call them now, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. We'll be going to Adam Handler in under 60 seconds. But right now, I would like to rev up Facebook. Everybody that's watching Facebook right now, I need for you to actually share what it is that you're watching on at least 20 individuals' pages, all right? Or share it in a group, share it on some pages. Do that for us right now. And thanks for joining us on Facebook, David Squeezaniki, the Case Handler, and PPID. But Miss Boss Lady, I don't know if there's anything you want to mention. You may want to mention that fees are going up, right? I don't know if you want to mention that before we get to Adam.
The fees are definitely going up. If you have something to file, it needs to be postmarked by October 1st if you want to take advantage of the general lower fees that are currently into effect.
Okay. All right. So we have demonstrated, ladies and gentlemen, okay, what we do on the immigration side. But do you think it's just immigration? There's this guy who tends to be modest, but he's a show off in a very neat little way. You know, he's a show off in a very neat little way. No, he's a show off in a very humble way. His name is Adam Handler. Why? I mean, I guess when you hit $126 million, you can afford to show off in a humble way. Adam Handler, talk to me, man. Can't respond to that, huh? You may want to unmute.
Yeah, I got it. That's, you know, that number, that's a big boy number.
Yes.
And when I talk about that number, I have such great pride because, it just, what we've done to change people's lives is truly remarkable. This year, one of the most, challenging years for us all personally and professionally. We're almost at 20 million for case handler clients this year, which is really spectacular considering I have not set foot in a courtroom since the middle of March. But we're dedicated to the cause. We understand that you got one chance to get right. There are no redos for personal injury. So we say it all the time, one chance, one choice. You better make it your case handler, which, thousands of people have done. And, we're just cruising along, no pun intended with the cruising with the case handler, but we are cruising along. We have some multi-million-dollar cases still left in the tank for the rest of this year. So I expect that we're going to come close to our record, which we broke last year, 26 million for case handler clients. I think it's going to be a photo finish, but even if we come a little short of that, just knowing that we were able to do some amazing work with nothing more than a telephone and a Wi-Fi connection, just shows you how skilled we are, how dedicated we are, and how driven we are to get you that big money if, God forbid, you ever hurt in an accident. And the money is to compensate you, of course, for medical bills, time out of work, and your pain and suffering. I can't stress enough, you never know when disaster is going to strike. There's an uptick in car accidents. There's more people on the road. I started coming into the city. I was working exclusively from home from the middle of March to right after 4th of July. And then we reopened the office and I started driving into the city. And after 4th of July, I was cruising in and cruising out, literally no traffic. And then in the past, 3-4 weeks, especially after Labor Day, all of a sudden you got traffic at the tunnel. All of a sudden you got traffic at the merge, and life is returning back to normal. And people are getting into accidents. There's I would say probably about a 60-70% uptick in the amount of calls that we're getting, people that have been injured in a car accident or a workplace accident. So the best thing you can do for your family, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be protected. And how can you be protected? Well, you start by having our number saved. We will never call you. We won't know who you are and if you need our help unless you reach out to us first, because we just don't roll like that. We don't hang out at the emergency room. I don't got runners at the scene coming up to you. We depend on you calling us if you need our services. And our phone number again is 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. Just give it a ring. Let it dial, let it ring. Give it a call. Let it ring for a few minutes, for a few seconds, and then hang up. Then that number will be locked in your phone. We'll have it in our system. We'll see who you are and your name and your phone number. And that's the best way to be connected to our practice. And of course, it's for the immigration as well. Unless you call us, we're not going to know that you need to adjust your status or that you want to file for citizenship or you're facing deportation proceedings. But if you do want our help, the phone call is 100% free. I don't stress that enough. 100% free phone call. You got a question, we got an answer. You got a problem, we got a solution. But it all starts with our calling our number, 844 ppid law.
Absolutely. And I want to say thanks to everything that you have done for so many people that I can't even count the amount of people on both hands that I know that Adam Handler have really helped. And you're talking about some of those people receiving millions of dollars. And remember, this is tax-free money. God forbid you get hurt in that accident, you get that settlement from Adam Handler fighting for you. It's tax-free money. Yeah, the government can't touch that. That's your money. And you need to have the best attorney, in my opinion. And I can say that he can't. He is truly the best when it comes to, of course, accident cases. So yeah, I know you may be hearing other attorneys elsewhere, not just on this radio station and elsewhere, but I can vouch for him because he has put in the work. All right. 15 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, 17 years, 15 on the radio, which makes me the longest running attorney on this radio station. And as Squeeze, you say, probably the most celebrated attorney on this radio station.
You are the most celebrated attorney on this station. We can't beat that. Believe me, we can't beat. No one can beat that right now. None. All right. So make sure you reach out to him. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. If you get hurt in an accident, make sure you have that number in your phone. Store that number in your phone. 844-774-3529. Bike accidents, bus accidents, truck accidents. He's got this one about the Tappan Zee. I mean, I saw this Tappan Zee bridge one that he has spoken about. Ridiculous accident.
Yeah, that one was nuts.
That one was nuts. You know, so that's the reason why every single one of you tuning into this radio station, you need Adam Handler. And there goes Adam Handler switching. Not a problem. Go ahead, Adam. Let them know what time it is, man. You know, you want to jump on that true success story?
Yeah, real quick, and then I want to jump back to immigration. But that is the real deal. You know, Jim, I got $835,000. Was on his job. The quote is great. If you can read that quote for me, Squeeze.
Okay. And this quote says right here, the case handler team helped me with a previous case and they did a fantastic job. So I knew I could trust them with this case. They will represent you well and look out for your well-being. And this is Jim J. from Highland, New York.
Yeah, this Jim was in his work vehicle at the time. For those of you watching on Facebook right now or later on Instagram, you'll see this story. But, you know, in his work vehicle, you know, helping direct traffic while construction's happening on the bridge, all of a sudden a tractor trailer, not paying attention, crashes right into his vehicle. The tractor trailer flips over, as you can see in this photograph right here. Ridiculous accident. Tappan Zee Bridge was shut down for about 6 hours. And I remember actually being involved in that. I was on Waze and they routed us another way, but major accident, $835,000. And, you know, he's doing great. We keep in touch all the time, but that's what we do, man. You know, big cases, catastrophic disaster accidents is what we do. And, you know, no case too big, no case too small, of course. But if you want to be treated like family, if you want the best possible result, if God forbid you're ever in a situation that certainly you're never going to expect, you'll have that number saved. Hopefully you never need it. God forbid you do. One less thing to worry about. 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529.
Adam, have the courts reopened?
So the courts are open for business. In New York City, there's no appearances. Everything is virtual, almost like what we're doing here in this format over Zoom or Skype. But the courts out in Long Island, Suffolk and Nassau courts, are opening for in-person. In fact, I believe they're even starting to do some very small jury trials, you know, very quick cases. So it's all unfolding, but I don't think we're going to have in-court jury trials here in New York City at least until next spring, which is difficult because, you know, that the best part is being able to tell the insurance companies, screw you, we're not accepting that offer. We'll see you next week in front of the judge and the jury. We don't really have that that weapon in our arsenal right now as far as negotiation. So a lot of our clients are just unfortunately stuck with everybody else waiting, for their day in court. But we are, like I said, settling millions and millions and millions of dollars of cases this year. So excellent news, even though the courts are not fully functioning. What's going on in the immigration courts?
How are depositions working?
Depositions the same way. Virtually. I mean, people are doing in-person depositions, across the table, socially distanced with masks, but a lot of the depositions are taking place over the same format that we're using right now, over Zoom, which is interesting because just as I was able to show those photographs of Jim's vehicle, that's how you show the witness their exhibits, the other side. You mark the exhibits beforehand and then you show them on the screen. But I tell you, there's nothing better than being in person doing that, because when that usually the person, you're always deposing somebody on the other side, right? The other side deposes my client, I depose their clients, and usually they're all full of crap. That's, I guess.
Why don't you guys quickly, I'm sorry, I got to interject with you, great attorneys. Why don't you expound on what is a deposition or deposing someone?
Yeah, deposition is essentially an interview sworn under oath, in which we ask questions of the other side and they ask questions of our client. So for example, when my client is being deposed, the first thing that I ask them usually is, a little bit of background, where do you go to school? What do you do for a living? Who do you live with? Then you talk about the accident, what day of the accident, where was the accident, how the accident happened. And then finally you get to the injuries, what injuries did you sustain? What medical treatment you've had? How much time from work did you miss? Or the things that you're limited in doing now that you weren't able to do before. These are all questions that build the case, and eventually, if the case goes to trial, you are bound by those answers because you are testifying under oath. So a lot of times, like I said, I know that my client had the green light. We'll have a video, but the other side will insist they had the green light, and I know they're full of crap. But being in person is the best way to really shake things up. I think that people have this false sense of security behind the screen and are more apt to maybe not tell the truth. Because you also have to read their body language as well. But we're all adjusting to this professionally. We're figuring a way to be better attorneys, and it's been a great learning process. And I think we've learned that we can do it more efficiently over formats like this. But what's happening in the immigration court? Are there live hearings?
Well, go ahead.
Yes, actually, immigration. Well, in immigration court, the non-detained docket. That's for obviously people who are not detained by ICE, not detained by immigration. Cases have been adjourned through, I believe, October 2nd. So if your case is obviously any time before October 2nd, including October 2nd, chances are your hearing will be rescheduled. The non-detained docket is still proceeding. In fact, I went to visit a client of mine at Hudson County Detention Center up in Kearney, New Jersey, this Saturday. And we are set to go before a judge in immigration court on the detained docket, which is a different docket. We're set for Wednesday. So, the detained docket is open for business, is going forward. And obviously those are people being housed at government expense. So that's why there's an urgency that, obviously also people are detained. So their personal liberty is, obviously at stake here. But yeah, no, I think things are going forward, with immigration. There's interviews going forward. In fact, I have a naturalization interview up in Hartford, Connecticut on Wednesday. So immigration is back open for business. I don't think they're scheduling as many people, at one time as they did in the past. I think they're limiting that. But as you said before, I think things are slowly going back to normal, if that's still a word in our vocabulary.
All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, the number is 844-774-3529. This is brought to you by the law firm Pollock, Isaac, and Nasico. We're talking about personal injury. We're talking about immigration. As a matter of fact, get into the immigration questions. Place your questions in the comment section on Facebook, regardless of the page that you're watching, and we'll get to them. But do remember, take away from this show, this phone number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Reach out to them, ladies and gentlemen. That's 844-774-3529. And tell them that, of course, you were listening to Cruising with a Case Handler and Squeeze and the Nelsons and the Alexandra. You know, you heard them and you wanted to, of course, get that free consultation. So make sure you reach out to them. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Let's get to a question here. Let's see if the immigration team is ready again for some more questions. Hi guys, my husband is a permanent resident of the US and just applied 2 days ago for his citizenship. I am a British citizen and have visited on ESTAs previously. I have just found out that I am 7 weeks pregnant and I need to get over to America ASAP so I don't have to give birth and raise the baby alone for the first part of its life. I'm looking for some advice on what we can do to be able to have the baby in America. His wait time for his citizenship is estimated March 2021. My due date is May 2021. I am worried if I went over there at Xmas on an ESTA, he wouldn't get his citizenship in time and I would use my 90 days on my ESTA before I could apply for my I-130 and would potentially face consequences. What are your options? What are our options rather?
Well, you know, I don't want to sound offensive, but if she shows up at CBP and says, I want to stay here so I can have a baby, she's going to have a big problem. And I think depending on how far along she is, you know, there may be questions at CBP. ESTA, as we know, is just for a short temporary visit, and then they're supposed to go home. So I can potentially foresee a problem there at entry. If she enters on ESTA, you know, marrying an American citizen is basically the only thing that she can do to adjust. So if she makes it here, even though it won't be within the 90 days, she will be potentially eligible to apply for adjustment later. But I think that, you know, showing up at the border with the idea of having the baby in the United States can be a problem.
Absolutely.
You know, just to add to that, you know, again, this is one of the reasons you want to have a competent attorney on your side. You know, you could have started the paperwork a long time ago while your husband was still a permanent resident. And once your husband naturalized, you know, the classification, your attorney could have changed the classification to the spouse of a United States citizen, which would give you an immediate, you know, a visa would be immediately available to you. You know, naturalization ideally takes anywhere from 8 months to a year. However, that's not a guarantee. You know, it could take longer. So he believes he will become a citizen in March 2021. It doesn't mean it will happen. It means it can happen. You know, right now, and I was just talking with a colleague, you know, a lot of cases are taking a lot longer because they're not, you know, they don't have as many people together as they once did. So before a naturalization ceremony, hypothetically had 50 or 60 people all taking their oath ceremony at the same time. Depending on where you live, that may no longer be the case. You know, it may be limited to 15, 20 people. You know, so all of the, you got to take into consideration all of these things, you know, and again, I mean, your husband should have filed for you, you know, several months ago. You know, that's just my opinion.
Okay. All right. That's, of course, Nelson Madrid speaking. And of course, before that, you heard Alexandra Bondikov, the boss lady, 2 top attorneys at the firm, Pollock, Isaac, and DeSico. We are extending to you 100% free phone consultations. Do reach out to the attorney. You're listening to the radio, you're watching Facebook, call them now at 844-774-3529. That is 844-774-3529. 844-PPID-LAW. Once again, tune in each and every single weekday at 9:30 a.m. right here. The attorneys will be here answering your questions and giving you a wealth of information as to what's happening in the personal injury arena and also the immigration arena. 844-774-3529. Stay with us.
It's 10 o'clock.
I have to squeeze that in there.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Got to squeeze that in there. All right. Let me squeeze in one more question and then I'm going to kick it back to you, Adam. All right. or two more questions. Hello, everyone. I am a child of a permanent resident, categories F2A, under 21 child of permanent resident. My date of birth, January the 4th, 2001. PD, March 28, 2018. DQ, May 7, 2020. Can I expedite my case based on aging out?
No. No, not only, not only can you not expedite it, you're subject to the travel ban, right? The presidential proclamation, which again, basically prohibits people from certain preference categories from entering the United States. Unfortunately, you happen to fall into that group. The earliest you would be able to come into the United States would be January 2021, and that's assuming that's lifted. As we've said previously on the show, remember the travel ban that was supposed to be temporary is going on, I think, 3.5 years at this point. Something that the administration spoke about was stopping chain migration. This defines chain migration. You don't have a visa immediately available to you. It's a preference category. So it's unclear at this time when you will be able to come into the United States.
Got you. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. You're in tune to Cruising with a Case Handler. Personal injury and immigration is what we discuss here each and every single day, literally. All right. Let's get to a question here. Is it okay to take Medicaid for kids who are born here, but parents are international students? Is there any problem when they apply for a green card?
No. So there's, if the child is legally in the United States, by legal, I mean either a permanent resident or a US citizen, that child is entitled to these benefits. As long as the benefit is for the child and not for you personally, that should not be an issue.
How does that fall into the public charge?
So there are exceptions to the public charge. For instance, emergency Medicaid, which is obviously if a woman is pregnant and expecting a child, she obviously needs medical treatment. There's a big difference between, again, being pregnant and needing medical care to take care of your unborn child who is or will be a United States citizen, and simply just being on Medicaid and getting food stamps and getting public assistance just because. So that's really the big difference here. And here the question specifically is asking about the child. So this person is applying on behalf of their child. Again, because the child is a citizen or a permanent resident of the United States, the child is entitled to receive this benefit.
Yep, this man knows his sheesh. Okay, Nelson knows his sheesh. Man, it's good. Sometimes it's good to listen to you attorneys. You all just flow, flawlessly. Just flow.
Listen, this is what we do, man. I mean, we have our our practice groups. I handle the personal injury. I don't mess with the immigration. The immigration department does their thing. They don't mess with PI. We all have our we all have our focus. We all have our, I don't want to say specialty because you really shouldn't say that, but we all kind of hone in on one area of law and really kick butt. But I can't stress to you enough, unless you call us, you're never going to have us to be your attorneys. And that would be a shame. I got a call over the weekend from a prior client that for whatever reason decided to go with another attorney that broadcasts on this station later in the day. Case totally screwed up. Had no idea what was happening. He thinks he signed some papers for a settlement, but's not even sure what he's getting or how much he's going to wind up with after the medical bills. So I said, have them give me a call. And about a half hour later, the lawyer that's working on this case, I don't know who this guy is, but the lawyer is on the phone with me, with my client, with my former client. And I'm asking the lawyer all the questions that the client should have asked or should have been told by the lawyer initially when they sat down. And I did more for him in 6 minutes than that attorney did in 6 months. And not every attorney is built the same. I mean, we just pride ourselves not only on excellent work, but also the approach to excellent work, treating, making sure you understand the process, making sure you feel comfortable.
Oh, you went down there, Adam. Is it me or am I hearing Adam lower?
What do you say?
Your volume.
Your volume went dropped
Oh,
on your microphone.
you hear me? No?
We can hear you, but you're low.
Yeah, sorry. So, welcome to my world. I'm only 5'7", you know.
There you go. You're back.
All right. I'm always low, 5'7", man. You can't get over that. But I can't, you know, attorneys aren't built the same. And I don't care how many commercials you run. I don't care how many billboards you have. That doesn't make you a better lawyer. That doesn't make you a better counselor. And it certainly doesn't, you know, give the client a better chance at justice just because, you know, you spend more money on advertising. Go with somebody that you know. Go with somebody that has a proven track record of success. You know, we can never guarantee a successful result, but I certainly would want to play the percentages if ever I was in some kind of legal need. I would want my lawyer to be, you know, prime time and known within the community for working on and resolving those big cases, whether it's personal injury or immigration.
You know, and just to expound on what Adam said, you know, anytime you leave a lawyer's office and you have no idea what just happened, there's a problem. Okay, there's a problem. You should be able, your lawyer should be able to explain everything to you in layman's terms, right? You should be able to have a very good understanding on, you know, where you're at with your case, what's left, you know, where, you know, what just happened, what's the strategy, you know, you should know all of these things, right? Because if your lawyer actually knows what he's doing, he should be able to convey this message to you. I mean, that's something, you know, one of my law school professors said, there's a lot of lawyers, but there's not a lot of good lawyers, you know, and yes, I can explain it to another lawyer, but what makes me a good lawyer is explaining it to a layperson. You know, when someone, you know, I have one of my colleagues here says, you know, I see when a client leaves your office, the client has a big smile on their face. Right? Why is that? Because they leave my office knowing exactly where we're at, knowing the strategy, knowing what we're doing, knowing how much time is left, knowing what's involved. You know, there are no surprises. You know, I believe in giving a client realistic expectations. You know, I'm not selling a dream. You know, and I think that's very important. And I think that's what distinguishes us from other law firms.
Gotcha. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Cruising with a Case Handler, show on personal injury and obviously immigration. Call them now at 844-774-3529. Before we end, we would like to ask you also to, of course, share what it is that you're watching with as many people as possible. We do appreciate that. I want to say thanks to all of our Facebook followers, especially the ones who are always here each and every single day, whether it's the Carols, the Lindas, the Denisha, whomever they are.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, yep, all of them. Thank you so much for being here. Before we go, though, I could not end the show and not get a comment from each of you attorneys as to, you know, us speaking in memory of hashtag RGB.
The notorious.
Yes, the notorious RGB. So I'd love to get some comment. I think she has, you know, left a major impact on this world. And I just wanted to hear a comment from each of you before you go. You want to go, ladies first?
Hi. She was a giant despite her tiny stature. I hope she is remembered for what she accomplished. I hope we don't squander her legacy. I mean, it's very difficult to talk about her legacy without talking about her replacement potentially.
Right.
You know, the new administration has the right to nominate. I just hope that some senators on the Republican side remember what they said in 2016, and if there is a new administration, let them give the chance to nominate.
Absolutely. Well said, well put. Alexandra, boss lady, Bondikov, one of the top immigration attorneys at the firm, Pollock, Isaac, and Seco. And this man, we nickname him the Maverick because he's extremely excellent at handling specific cases in the immigration capacity and more. Nelson Madrid, what's your comment on the notorious RGB?
I think she left an indelible footprint on American jurisprudence. I think she was amazing. As Alex said, you know, a woman of short stature, but very, very powerful. You know, before she became a Supreme Court justice, she actually argued for women's rights. And she was a fierce advocate of women's rights. And I think she, you know, obviously opened the door for equal treatment of both, you know, obviously of women, I should say. So, you know, obviously, I think she will be missed, you know, and she became a cultural icon, you know, I mean, notorious RBG. So those are my words.
Okay, well said, Nelson. And the case handler, Adam Handler, your words.
Well, listen, you know, this is what we do. You know, when we decide to become attorneys, you know, we raise our right hand and we take that oath that we're going to do the best possible job for our client, that we're going to uphold the law, we're going to uphold the Constitution, we're going to do what's right, no matter what the cost. And she certainly personified that. I like to think I do. I know Nelson and Alexandra and Conrad and all of my partners and colleagues at the firm do the same thing. So, you know, it's empowering to me to see somebody that really, you know, would stand up for what's right. And that's what we always do at this firm, standing up for what's right. And if ever is now a time to get serious about the votes and cast your ballot in November and make sure that your voice is heard, man, you better do it. You better find a way and get that done. So, you know, our liberties are at stake. The future of this country is at stake. You know, the Supreme Court positions are some of the most powerful positions in our government. I mean, essentially, it's individuals not making law, but interpreting the law and applying the law. So, very, very big deal. And hopefully, the other justices will you know, come along and continue the work that they all did collectively, and we'll move on from it. But please vote.
Absolutely. And from my perspective, I think she's one of those stalwarts, one of those figures that should go down in history, where I believe her legacy should actually be taught in schools. You know, I think, you know, academically, people should understand and learn more about what it is that this woman has done for the world. One of the most powerful women, in my opinion, she was here in the United States and probably the world. And of course, she goes down in my record books anyway. So that's what I want to say. Thank you all so much, gentlemen and lady, for being here today. It's been a great show as usual. We would like to implore everyone out there to actually share the page, subscribe to the page, especially Adam Handler's page. All right. And of course, you know, call 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Alexandra, thank you so much for filling in for the boss man. Of course, Conrad Pollack, it's good to have you. Nelson, thank you so much. Adam Handler, as usual, thank you so much. Bless up. All right.